Hello and welcome back to Premier League Predictions, the show which does what it says on the tin. We're here for Game Week 37, the penultimate game week of the 23-24 Premier League season. It's been a fantastic season so far. It all comes down to this game week. Harry, one last game week. Are you, two more game weeks. Are you excited?
Yeah, I mean, these are the games that matter, aren't they? Every single point at this stage of the season matters, whether it's at the top, whether it's at the bottom, whether it's in the race for Europe. All these games coming up are absolutely massive.
They are indeed. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start on the Saturday with a 12:30 kickoff. It's Fulham hosting Manchester City. City currently top of the pile. Well, will be top of the pile if they win their game in hand on Arsenal, which you would expect them to do. Fulham, they will provide a fight here. Whether that's enough to stop Man City, though, is another matter entirely. So, Harry, how do you see this one panning out?
Yeah, I mean, Fulham, they're not a great side. They're not a bad side, though. But Man City have got enough to see them off here. They need points and they know exactly how to get them at this stage in the season with the title on the line. I will go for a 2-0 Man City win with goals from Phil Foden and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I follow a similar line of thinking. I think City will have this fairly comfortably. I'll go 4-0 City. Looking at the way they tore apart Wolves last week, I think it'll be a similar story here. Haaland with 4 in that game. He'll only get 3 here.
Oh,
I'm sure he'll
rubbish.
be gutted, but he will all but sew up that golden boot unless Cole Palmer scores 8. So, yeah, Haaland there to get his golden boot. And then I'll predict a goal from Josko Gvardiol as well, because he's on a real rich vein of scoring form for Man City at the moment. Up next, the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Bournemouth versus Brentford. Bournemouth have been the surprise package of the season, which has seen manager Andoni Iraola nominated for manager of the season. They've had an incredible run of form. They didn't win any of their first 10 games, and they haven't lost any since they have. But you know what I mean. They've been brilliant, Bournemouth. As for Brentford, well, it's been a very different season. They've been struggling at times, only just above that relegation zone, and ultimately, it's very difficult to envision them beating Bournemouth here, given how good they've been, and especially since Bournemouth at home. But what's your prediction, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, this is also the kind of game you get at the end of the season, which isn't much to play for, but it's for pride. And when there's not much on the line, it basically comes down to who is the better side, who is more in form at the moment. That team is Bournemouth, and I think they will win here. It'll be a 3-1 victory. It'll be a Dom Solanke double, a Zabarnyi goal, and then the Brentford goal coming through Johan Visser.
Yeah, fair enough. I also think Bournemouth are going to win this one. I'll go a slightly more modest, same margin actually, 2-0 for Bournemouth. They've been very defensively solid, and Brentford, they keep rotating their striker. They're not having any luck, though, in finding more goals. So I think Bournemouth will run out 2-0 winners here. I think it'll be a goal from Justin Kluivert, and then a second from Antoine Semenyo. I don't want to say Solanke, it's boring, so I'm going to go Semenyo and Kluivert. Comfortable 2-0 win for the Cherries. Up next, it's Everton versus Sheffield United. Everton have endured a difficult season with point deductions, but despite that, they have managed to steer themselves to safety. As Sheffield United, well, they've sunk without a trace. Their ship has hit the iceberg. They are all over the ocean. I don't know what to say. Sheffield United, they've been terrible this season. And you would expect more of the same here. Everton, the kings from set pieces. The kings of corners, really, given their aerial prowess. Sheffield United, a side that don't really have a whole lot of quality. So you'd expect a comfortable Everton win here. Again, another one that's a formality, right?
Yeah, I mean, this game is tragic, by the way.
Maybe Sheffield United will turn up. They've got nothing to play for.
I mean, maybe. I don't think so. I think this is going to be an absolutely terrible game of football, as expected. I will go for a 1-0 Everton win, and it will be Calvert-Lewin from the penalty spot after an Ahmed Hodzic handball, and it is going to be one of the worst games of the season.
Fair enough. I agree. I think it's going to be a bad game, but I disagree with the result. I think despite Everton being very good, I know Everton fans won't like this, but you have been very good this season. Congratulations. But Sheffield United, then they're free. They've got nothing to play for, so why not go out there? No fears, no worries. Go out there and play some good football. A 2-0 win for Sheffield United. I think we have a goal from Gus Hamer, probably his last for Sheffield United before getting signed by a better side. And then a goal for Ben Brereton Diaz on loan at the Blades. He's done quite well this season, and he'll make it 2-0 for Sheffield United.
Nice.
Up next, it's two sides on the fringes of Europe. One in, one out. Newcastle versus Brighton. Brighton, they've struggled this season. They've had a lot of injuries, and De Zerbi's system doesn't really work without very good players, and they haven't had their usual squad. As for Newcastle, well, they've got over their injuries, and now they're making a serious shot at European football. if they can keep going in the way they are, they may well get fifth in the Premier League as well, given Tottenham's real poor performances of late. So, can Newcastle make advantage of that and keep on their good run, or will Brighton provide an upset against the odds?
I mean, as you say, Newcastle have been absolutely phenomenal in the last few weeks. They're at home here. It's going to be absolutely buzzing at St James's Park. This is the Brighton side who now find themselves outside the top 10, which is shocking, really. That's really, really poor. So for me, this is a formality. Newcastle have got this in the bag. It'll be a 2-0 win, and it'll be Alex Isak from the penalty spot and a solo wonder strike from Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a fairly safe prediction. I will say Newcastle would win 1-0, and I think it'll be... I'm tempted to say a few more goals there, but I think 1-0. Actually, no, Brighton are fairly porous. 4-0. I'll say an Isak brace. Wow. Trying to pick out a midfielder that's actually stayed fit this season. Bruno Guimaraes doesn't get involved in the goals often, but I'll predict him to score here, and they haven't got any defenders that are fit. So I'll say Dan Burn, I think he's the only one that is. Nice. So 4-0 for Newcastle, despite the fact they're still not at full strength.
Yeah.
Up next, Tottenham versus Burnley. It's Champions League, or were Champions League chasing Tottenham, now Europa League chasing Tottenham against almost relegated Burnley. They're still fighting for a place in the Premier League. Could they get a result here against a Tottenham side who've looked awful recently?
I mean, I tell you what, I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to say it. Tottenham have been absolutely poor in the last few weeks. They haven't turned up in a single game, and they just haven't really shown any fight or quality. Again, this is a Burnley side turning up here who need points and have that fight, have that belief to keep them in the Premier League. I'm going to go Tottenham 0, Burnley 1, and it's a huge 3 points for the Clarets. I will go for a goal from Koleosho. It's a great strike. Yeah. And it is good. And then Burnley, he's going to score early on, first 10 minutes. Then Burnley are going to sit back, have 2 lines of 5, defend for their lives, and take a huge 3 points away from Tottenham.
Yeah, fair enough. I think along the similar sort of lines, Burnley, they're fighting for their lives. Tottenham are in awful form. I'll go 2-0 Burnley. It'll be goals from David Datro Fofana and Josh Brownhill with the goals for Burnley. A 2-0 victory against a Tottenham side who were tragic against Liverpool last week. They conceded 4 goals at the back post. I mean, that is... You've got to fix up at some point. But yeah, and if they don't, Burnley will win here. Up next, and the reason why Burnley's win might not matter as much, West Ham versus Luton Town. West Ham have been in terrible form recently. They're coming off the back of a 5-0 loss to noisy neighbours Chelsea. David Moyes has now announced he will not be at the club next season, as it's widely expected that Julian Lopetegui will take over. So West Ham haven't got that feel-good factor. It seems that they've already decided their season is over now, and with Luton Town chasing points, surely this only has one outcome.
I mean, yeah, it's exact for me. I'm going to go for exactly the same as what I just predicted for Tottenham Burnley. It's a similar game. It is a relegation side travelling to London in needing points, and they're playing a team that are in poor form, are all over the place, and don't look like picking up points anywhere. West Ham 0, Luton Town 1. It is going to be a brilliant header. It's going to be the classic goal we've seen all season. Doughty ball in, Adebayo header. Luton take a huge 1-0 win away, take a huge 3 points, and I mean, for me, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, I think, again, the same. West Ham, though, have been worse than Tottenham, and Luton are better at scoring goals than Burnley. So I'll say 3-0 Luton Town. I'll go for an Adebayo goal, a Carlton Morris goal, and a Ross Barkley goal as Luton Town fly out of the relegation zone.
Wow.
Up next, then, the final 3 o'clock kickoff. A bumper 3 o'clock set of games it is. Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Wolves have been fairly terrible in recent weeks. Crystal Palace have been unstoppable in recent weeks. They're coming in off of a 4-0 win over Manchester United. I know that's not much to shout about in 2024, but they did batter United 4-0. Wolves haven't been great. Again, surely this has one outcome.
I mean, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Palace... I mean, watching the front three of Elise, Eze and Mateta is like watching a front three of Suarez, Neymar and Messi. They've been brilliant, and Wolves
ridiculously
got
good.
Torn apart by City. This goes one way, and it's going to be an away win. I'll go 3-0 to the Eagles, with goals coming from Eze, Mateta, and a first goal, I believe, for Adam Wharton.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Adam Wharton's performances have been phenomenal recently. Many claiming he should earn himself a call-up. I think that's a great shout.
Will Hughes.
And we'll get Will Hughes on the plane as well. And their backup goalkeeper, I think he's English. All 3 of their goalkeepers are English, actually. Johnston, Henderson and Matthews. Get them all in there. But I like your 3-0. I see your 3-0, and I'm going to raise you a 4-0 victory for Crystal Palace. Back-to-back 4-0 wins. I will say a goal from Munoz, because I had him in my FPL team on the free hit week. They had a double, and he didn't get anything. He should have got a goal, but Everton put it in the back of the net for him. And then last week, he started to get 2 assists, I think, against Man United. So, typical. I think he will, again, have a good attacking return. A goal and an assist for him. Mateta, of course, is going to get one because he's playing at R9 at the moment. And then I'll say Michael Elise as well with him. Oh, no, I need another one. I'll go Elise, and then I'll go for Jefferson Lerma. I fancy a bit of Jefferson Lerma goal. A 4-0 win for Crystal Palace. Up next, the half-5 kickoff. It's relegation threatened Nottingham Forest against European chasing Chelsea. Forest, they're desperate for points. Chelsea are desperate for points. Chelsea are in great form. Forest are not. How is this going to pan out?
I mean, yeah, this is between two sides who need to give it everything to get as many points on the board. But Chelsea have been very, very good in the last few weeks, picking up brilliant results and scoring a lot of goals. And against a Forest side who need points but are also struggling, I think Chelsea are going to find them. They've got 6 at Everton, 5 at West Ham, and I think they'll get 4 here. It will be double for Nicholas Jackson, a goal for Cole Palmer, and a goal from a Hilo Mudryk that will end up leaving Chelsea in a very, very good position and leaving Forest in the relegation zone.
Yeah, fair enough. I like it. I think this game has 2 options. It's either going to be 3-4-0 Chelsea or 1-0, 1-1. Yeah. Nottingham Forest, very low scoring game, but something that Forest get points from. I am going to go for the former, though I do think Chelsea will claim a comfortable victory. Since you've said 4, I'll say 3 on this one. Chelsea goals coming from Nicholas Jackson because he is now really good. In case you haven't heard, he's incredible. Let's steady down. Then Cole Palmer, I think, will get the second, and I will say... Tempted to go Trevor Chalobah. Yeah, you know what? I'll go Trevor Chalobah again. Corner, head, free kick, whatever. It's coming off his head. It's going in the back of the net. Chelsea 3, Nottingham Forest 0. On to the Sunday and the sole Super Sunday fixture. It's Manchester United versus Arsenal. I think we might be at the point in history, the only point in history, where the gap between these two sides has been this large. Even when Arsenal were at their lowest, it was never this large. Now, Manchester United are truly terrible. I don't think a single United player gets in the Arsenal squad. Not a single player starts up for Arsenal.
No.
In my opinion. A couple will be, on the bench, but none of them start. United just aren't comparable to Arsenal right now. This should be a comfortable win for Arsenal. If Arsenal have got a bit about them, they still want to win the Premier League, they've got to win this game. Will they, Harry?
Well, I mean, Arsenal, as you say, need points. They want to put on a good show here. United shipped 4 at Palace. Arsenal scored 5 at Chelsea the other week, and I think they're going to beat both those scores. And I'll go for Manchester United 0, Arsenal 6. Wow. I think they're going to run riot here.
Fuse it into a 4.5.
They are.
I'm really confused.
They're going to tear United apart. It'll be 3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second, and they will come courtesy of 2 from Bukayo Saka, a goal for Odegaard, a goal for Trossard, a goal for Rice, and then a 6th goal coming off the head of William Saliba.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go Manchester United 3, Arsenal 5. I think this is going to be a game where the pragmatist in Ten Hag really comes out. I think at half-time, it will be 4-0 Arsenal. And people will be walking out of Old Trafford. They'll be running out of Old Trafford, screaming, shouting, throwing their hands around. 4-0 Arsenal at half-time. Yeah. Saka goal, Saliba goal, Saka goal, and a Havertz one as well, because Mark Goldbridge said he's not better than Kobe Mainoo. I know. I don't get that one either. Manchester United then will change things up at half-time, and Ten Hag will finally adapt his tactic a little bit, where they actually play some football, and it'll be a Bruno goal, a Garnacho goal, and a Rasmus Højlund goal. People will start to go, oh, what's happening here? 4-3, they're back in it. Then Arsenal, killer goal, Martinelli, 5-3, and what an incredible Super Sunday fixture.
Like it. Wow.
So come back to this when it's 0-0 and everyone's bored. Or 7-0 Arsenal. They're the options. But yeah, on to the Monday night then, and it is Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Liverpool are still technically in the title race, though if City have beaten Fulham, they're not by this point. Aston Villa are, well, pretty much cemented fourth now, so this game doesn't really mean a whole lot for both of them. We could either have a really boring game where they both just sort of play out a draw, or a really exciting one where they both go for it. Harry, which of those options is enticing you to predict?
Yeah, I mean, Villa will want to probably, they want to secure their Champions League spot. Liverpool, they want to keep the good times. I'm gonna go for a draw.
Are there any good times at Liverpool at the moment?
But,
Seems to be quite bad times. Klopp's leaving. They're all sad they're not in the Premier League title race.
I don't really know. This game kind of has no meaning, really, because I don't see Tottenham. I said Tottenham are going to lose to Burnley and they've got City in a minute. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, fair
Why
enough.
not?
Fair
I
enough.
haven't gone for one yet this week. Got to throw one in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa might be a bit tired. They come into this game off of the Olympiacos game. Now, of course, we're predicting before that game, so Villa might well be out of the Conference League, which would be a massive shame. That would make them sad. So I think either way, Liverpool are going to be well rested. Villa aren't. And I'll say Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. Goals from Salah and Elliott. Not many people are really going to watch it. I think there's playoffs on that night.
Yeah.
So people will be watching that. No one's paying attention. There you go. Something's happened over there. Oh, it's a Salah goal. FPL points. Lovely, lovely days. Apart from me, because I don't have him.
Nice.
But yeah, that'll be what happens. Then on to the Tuesday night, and as you say, Tottenham welcoming Manchester City to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A little bumper double for Tottenham here, and they get to get battered twice. Man City in incredible form, Tottenham not. Surely this is a foregone conclusion, but Tottenham do always beat Man City.
I mean, unfortunately for Tottenham, I think this is double trouble. A loss to Burnley, and I think it will now be a loss to City.
Wow.
They're just not... They need to get to the end of the season and fast. But at this rate, I think they're going to be under a lot of pressure for their European spots as Chelsea and Newcastle come firing, because they've also got a double. I'm going to go 1-0 Man City. Pretty boring game. And it'll be one goal from Erling Haaland. It'll be a penalty. A bit of a dubious one. And Tottenham will be very frustrated.
Yeah, I like the use of double trouble. Double trouble. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Tottenham are probably going to lose this game. Yeah. I'll say Tottenham 1, City 5. Why not? City are really good at the moment. Tottenham aren't. I think it'll be a goal from Richarlison. And then for Manchester City, I will go for a Haaland goal, a Foden goal, a Gvardiol goal, a De Bruyne goal, and to cap it all off, well, I was tempted to say Ederson, that feels a bit ridiculous, so I'll say Nathan Ake.
Nice.
No, I won't. I'll say John Stones, because I don't think Ake and Gvardiol will both start. So a nice 5-1 win for City away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. On to the Wednesday then, and we've got another 2 fixtures to round off this game week. The first of which, Brighton Hove Albion versus Chelsea. Chelsea, as we say, need to keep winning if they want to see themselves in the Europa League next season. They need to hope Newcastle drop points somewhere. As for Brighton, well, Brighton have been good, but... Well, no, sorry, Brighton haven't been good, but could they turn up here against Chelsea? Let's find out, Harry. What is your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, Brighton, as you say, not doing very well, and Chelsea would have seen... For me, I see this as going, they've beaten Nottingham Forest, they've seen Tottenham lose to Burnley and City, and they're going to take full advantage and gain another 3 points here with a 2-1 victory over Brighton. I think Brighton will take the lead through, Pascal Gross. Bit frustrating goal for Chelsea. 1-0 at half-time, it would be like, Chelsea, what are Chelsea doing here? But they'll pick it up in the second half with goals from Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson again. And they will close the gap to Tottenham to 3 points.
Yeah.
With those two, they will win to both games.
And if Tottenham both lost both, then yeah, they would close that up to... They might be level with them. No.
No. Not 6 points behind Tottenham.
They're 9, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they could close to within...
They're going to win the game. They're going to catch up to Tottenham.
So yeah, they are close either way. I agree. I think Chelsea will win here. I will say 4-0 Chelsea. Brighton's defence is fairly open. I think it'll be goals from Jackson, Madueke, and I will go... Was tempted to go Mudryk, but you know what? I'm fancying a bit of Tyreek George from the bench.
Wow, yeah,
Finally from the bench. He's not been given any minutes yet. I think Poch will give him minutes here if Chelsea are in a comfortable position. And then 15 minutes later, we get to watch a massacre because Manchester United welcome in-form Newcastle to Old Trafford for the second time in 4 days. Man United have a home fixture against a side they're likely to lose to. Will there be more double trouble?
I think they're going to be in more trouble than Newcastle.
Probably.
They're going to score 1, 2, 3, and they'll win the game 3-0. And I mean, I think it's going to be very, very convincing. I'm going to go once again for a goal for Alexander Isak. a goal for... who's going to score? I'm trying to think who I want to go for here. I'm going to go Bruno Guimaraes. And then a third goal coming from... Ooh, Joe Linton fit.
Personal preference, mate, but I'm not sure. Not sure, to be honest.
We'll go Gordon.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Safe bet. I think it's been an interesting one. I want to start by taking everyone's minds back to a certain fixture between Newcastle and Tottenham. Tottenham went away to Newcastle on that occasion, and within the first 20 minutes was 6-0 down. Now, could that happen again? Yes. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 6. It'll be over by the 30th minute, and then Old Trafford will be empty, and Newcastle fans will be having an absolute storming Wednesday evening, just shouting, Old Trafford's fallen down, is there a fire drill? Just going through the songbook of songs to sing when all the fans leave, and I think it will genuinely be like shocking numbers. There'll be like 3 people in there.
Wow.
Maybe per stand.
Wow, that's still not very many.
No, it's not, is it?
12. Wow.
Per section.
Right. Okay, lovely.
So
not too much on that one.
There's more. There's people there, but there's not many.
Yeah, we get it.
It's quite empty. They've all left. Newcastle will be joyous as they win 6-0. Isak hat-trick, and then it will be a goal from Gordon, a goal from Tino Livramento if he's fit.
Nice.
And a goal from Harvey Barnes. Oh, Harvey Barnes. It's not an equaliser. It's a 6th within 30 minutes. That's what the commentator will say.
Yeah.
Man United 0, Newcastle 6. That rounds off open ultimate game week of the 23-24 Premier League season. We'll be back next week with the final game week of the season, perhaps our final Prem predictions ever. What a moment. It has been an emotional journey, but we've got plans for next year. Maybe Prem predictions will be in them, maybe they won't. So don't want to say anything too early before we've made all our decisions, but it could be our last one, so make sure not to miss it. And of course, the final game week as well. So we will, of course, be covering every single match in that Premier League final day stream. Struggling with words. Unfortunately, we are not able to stream this weekend at all, but we'll be back for the final day of the Premier League season, and of course, all 3 European finals, and then we're in for the Euros. Very exciting times. If you want to keep watching our content with video on screen now, where we talk about Chelsea and how Mauricio Pochettino's little tactical tweak to Marc Cucurella's role has completely transformed that side. So go ahead and give that a click. But that's everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.